Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jasmine, and as you can tell, I'm going to be doing another tea time review. Alright, the book that I'm going to be reviewing today is Tiger Lily by Jodi Lynn Anderson. I actually read this book at the end of last year. I haven't been doing a lot of reviews, so I kind of was like looking through some of the books that I really enjoyed, or I gave 5 stars, or not even necessarily gave 5 stars, but books that I just wanted to review that weren't mainstream that everybody else is or are reviewing or have read. So this is a Peter Pan retelling, but it's not a complete Peter Pan retelling. It is about Tiger Lily, obviously, per the title. This book is told in the perspective of Tinkerbell, and she's following around Tiger Lily, and it shows Tiger Lily meeting Peter Pan and them falling in love before Wendy ever came into the picture. That is the gist of this book. It does have some dealings with Europe colonization in it, which was phenomenal. It was a phenomenal perspective to look at from the... Granted, it's not Tiger Lily's perspective because it's told by Tinkerbell, but it kind of is told in the Native American perspective. Well, not Native American because it's like, you know, on Wonderland, but interesting perspective. And I will say, if you read this book and you enjoy it, you're not going to like Wendy. So, fuck that bitch. Okay, so I gave this book... excuse me, a 5 out of 5 stars, I believe. I can't remember because it was such a long time ago, but the overall plot was like, I really enjoyed. So it follows Tinkerbell finding Tiger Lily and telling Tiger Lily's story. So Tiger Lily is basically the daughter of the shaman, but she's not his real daughter. She was found in the woods and the shaman took her. So she's kind of like been an outcast from the village and things like that. And then it doesn't help that she's not like the other girls. Like all the other girls kind of like, you know, back in the day they had their set roles of, you know, they're doing basket weaving, they're doing the household things, they're, you know, things like that. And Tiger Lily wanted to go hunt with the boys and she wanted to fight. So a lot of people didn't like her and they just thought that she was like a black crow, essentially, and that's what they called her. They called her Black Crow. So to be a rebellious, she would wear a black feather in her hair so that people would leave her alone. She's not very talkative. And then it goes, and obviously there is a European ship that comes and stumbles upon Wonderland, and all the other people on the ship end up dying, but one person ends up surviving. And they believe that if they go and talk to the Europeans, they're going to get the AIDS disease. So these people don't age, or they stop aging at a certain year. So some people could age all the way up into their 70, and some people might not age past like 10 or 11. And they believe that if you go and you talk to the Europeans, you're going to get the AIDS disease and you'll start aging and you will die. So the only way these people die are like by natural, like, you know, someone stabbed someone or they fell off a cliff. Like natural ways to die that aren't considered like sickness and things like that, or of old age. They don't die of that. So Tiger Lily goes and she is keeping him alive. Yeah, it was a very interesting, it's a very interesting retelling. After that, she's gonna meet Peter Pan. Obviously everyone's afraid of the Lost Boys because they think that they're just like killers and all this like crazy stuff. And Tiger Lily ends up spying on Peter Pan some way, somehow. And she doesn't really talk to him, like she just ends up staying and like sitting around with them, but she doesn't really talk, but she still plays all the games with the boys and things like that. And then obviously she goes home. that is basically the gist. Character development, like, I guess I would say a 3 out of 5, because there wasn't really any development with the characters per se. It's literally just a story about Tiger Lily and her day-to-day life meeting Peter Pan, the Europeans, and things like that. Now I'm going to put this book down because I'm going to do some spoilers. Okay, so going into spoilers, I'm going to talk about 3 different plot points in this book that I really, really enjoyed and I found very interesting. The first one is the colonization part of it. So obviously, Tiger Lily's dad is a shaman, but he's not really, how do I explain this? He takes on female attributes. And he obviously dresses like a woman, his mannerisms are like a woman, and he's not manly in any sense of what we consider to be a man. Especially back in the day for Native Americans, he doesn't take on that role, but he is a shaman. Everyone comes to him. He's like the leader of the tribe, essentially. So people come to him. They want his opinions. They value everything that he does. He is like their healer and things like that. So what happens with the colonization, Tiger Lily ends up helping the European that stumbled upon Wonderland and healing him back. So then he finds his way into the village, or he finds the village. And at first, everyone, obviously, like I said before, are afraid of them, but they seen that when Tiger Lily was reacting, she didn't end up getting the AIDS disease. So they were kind of still standoffish, but they were very interested on what this European did, because obviously he doesn't look like them, he doesn't talk or act like them. So carry on, and people start actually listening to the European over the shaman, because obviously he's a European, he's Christian, he's bringing his Christian and religion beliefs into the village, and they start living the way he tells them to. And he keeps telling the shaman, like, you can't live like this is not how you're supposed to be, you're not supposed to be womanly, you're not supposed to. And everyone starts looking at him with disgust, and he doesn't care. At first he doesn't care, and he's like, I'm gonna do what I want to do and what I love and what's true to me. And he obviously is telling him he can't wear dresses. So then they end up taking him out of his dress and putting man clothes on him, and then they cut his hair off. And that is his most cherished thing of, everything about him is his hair. If we know anything about, Jamaicans or islanders with dreadlocks, we understand the value and the actual meaning for their dreads, and each dread has a prayer, and diving into it not being just a hairstyle, but it actually being more a spirituality thing and stuff like that. That's how his hair was valued to him. So when they cut his hair off, he completely changes. And what was interesting to me is because Tiger Lily seen it happening and she didn't really stop it, but this completely stuns him. And he is not the same anymore. He just lays in bed, he doesn't eat, he doesn't talk, he doesn't say anything, while everybody else around him is listening to this European that they don't know anything about, but they're following him, they're doing things, they're changing their houses and their clothes and the way that they interact and stuff like that. And then the shaman kills himself. Once he kills himself, everyone kind of wakes up and are like, wait, what the hell? What just happened? And then they push the European out, and they're like, absolutely not. They start killing other people that had came over and found the village as well. And they were just like, you guys need to leave our village because this is unacceptable. But it was interesting that it took all the way to the point of their shaman killing himself to understand like what was happening to them, because honestly the Europeans were trying to colonize them when they didn't need to. Their society, their way their tribe was, worked just fine. And yeah, I kind of rambled on with that one, so let's just get into the second part. And the second part is the relationship between Tiger Lily and Peter Pan. Obviously, everyone thought the Lost Boys were like crazy. They were killing people. They were eating humans, like, you know. So no one wanted to be around them. And then Tiger Lily kind of seen them and just she realized what they were. Now, I did not like Peter Pan in this book, and he actually kind of was true to his character, because if you pay attention to Peter Pan in the cartoon Disney movie, he wasn't really a nice boy, honestly. He kind of like bossed everyone around. He thought he was smarter and better than everybody else, and that's kind of how he was in the book as well. And he would always try to compete with Tiger Lily, and Tiger Lily, being the competitor that she is, obviously they fall in love. It's like an unspoken love though, because she doesn't really talk, and Peter Pan just kind of like boasts about himself, and they just kind of have this connection that you really love, even though you don't like Peter Pan. And Tinkerbell actually falls in love with Peter Pan as well. And she falls in love with him because he recognized her. Tiger Lily knows that Tinkerbell is always following her around, but she doesn't actually acknowledge her. So she falls in love with Peter Pan because obviously she thinks he's so cute and all this other stuff, and then he says something to her, and then that's where she's like fighting against, like, she wants Tiger Lily to be with Peter Pan, but she also loves Peter Pan, so she's jealous. But it's like an understanding that she knows that she can't be with Peter Pan, and she knows that Tiger Lily can. So fast forward to when another ship comes, and it's not told like the movie where, you know, Peter Pan goes and finds Wendy and takes him to Wonderland. Wendy is on a ship that comes to the land, and that same ship are the colonizers that were in the village trying to colonize Tiger Lily's village. So Peter Pan meets Wendy, and she sees it because Tiger Lily was supposed to run away with Peter Pan, but obviously the things were happening with her dad, the shaman, that she didn't end up coming because she had to be there for her dad. So Peter Pan obviously is upset about that, and she finally comes back to the village, and none of the boys want to talk to her because Wendy's there, and Wendy's like that bubbly, you know, oh, it's so crazy, and I could bring you guys back, and all this other stuff. And yeah, like, that's what happens. Peter Pan basically ignores Tiger Lily, and she's completely heartbroken by this because she doesn't understand, like, hey, my dad died. I couldn't be here because I had my own things going on, and then I feel like you just abandoned me because this new girl came in. And just the way Wendy treats Tiger Lily, and just like how she like changed the boys' perspectives and things like that. In the end, she ends up taking the boys back to Europe with them, and he actually doesn't stay in Wonderland, so he leaves, and then that's where he's gonna grow old and all that stuff. And that's all I remember. Not that all that I remember, but that's all I'm gonna dive into because this video is already, how long is this video? 16 minutes long, so I'm not gonna dive into it. But I really hope that these two like main points you look at and go, oh, I really want to read that, because it's still really interesting. There's still parts of the story, and then obviously I read it so long ago that I'm probably like jumbling a little bit of the things up. But I really enjoyed this book. I really do think that you guys should pick it up because it talks about some, you know, touchy things, obviously, with suicide. Okay, so like right when I was ending this video, my phone actually ended up dying. So yeah, basically in a nutshell, I really feel like you should pick up Tiger Lily. It was such a really good book. It hit on some different topics, and if you just like Peter Pan, you will probably enjoy this book, hopefully. But that's all that I have for you guys today. If you like this video, or if you like my reviews, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any critiques for me, let me know down in the comments, but don't do it in like a damn bitch, this was fucked up. Like, if you have any critiques for me and the way I review, or if you want to know my thoughts in a different way, please let me know. And if you didn't like this video, then that is too bad.